The parody you are about to hear takes place in a small suburban hamlet in northern New Jersey. The residents pay very high property taxes, with young families and senior citizens growing frustrated with the impending tax abatements developers are seeking and will most likely receive. Sit back and enjoy My Facts, Not Yours in the latest edition of the Redevelopment Zone.
Taxpayers of New Jersey, please put your hands together for our Mayor of West Orange, New Jersey, King Mayor Robert Parody.
Hello. Thank you for coming to my open castle office hours. I am your trusted and adored King Mayor Robert Parody. But you can call me Robert or Rob or Bob or Bobby or Bobby Bob. But you know what they say. Just don't call me late for development. I'd like to talk about facts, specifically my facts. There have been many people posting on the Book of Faces about this whole redevelopment plan, like it's something awful or dreadful. So let me read to you my post on the Book of Faces, dated the 7th of December in the year of our Rob 0017. And I quote myself. Very mention of the word redevelopment in West Orange has often triggered both outrage and shame. And that is unfortunate. I have often believed that rather than condemning the notion, we should be celebrating the idea that as a community, we still inspire significant investment. Of course, I acknowledge that the Main Street project, since 1999 inception, has not gone smooth, and the reputation that causes pause is well-deserved. Given the rough road of that project, I understand the concern any mention of new redevelopment project can stir up. However, the concern of redevelopment of Essex Green should not be a surprise. The ownership has changed hands 3 times in the past 20 years, and the mall itself has had major renovations as many times that I can remember. Considering, additionally, the changing face of retail, developing the site as expected, and, as many have made an issue, the owners have been promoting that since they closed on the property.
Isn't retail dying? Why don't we just invest in a cemetery?
Mr. King Mayor, how come this property sold 2 years ago for $97 million, but there was no signs of decay or threats to public safety? Did it become so blighted in 2 years that it should now be considered an area in need of redevelopment?
Can I call a friend? When our town planner changed his hats to consult for the town on this, he said, and I'm quoting, "Huh?" He also wrote that the AC is awful, the lighting is bad, and it's difficult for deliveries. It's a disaster area, according to our planner. The Executive Drive complex next door was built in the early 80s when the office market was much different than it is today. That complex is currently more than 50% vacant. In full disclosure, I am a tenant in that complex and have been there since 2004, spending time in 3 of the 4 buildings over the span and have closely and slowly watched most of the tenants and all the large tenants vacate over the last 8 years.
Where's the planner? Bring out the planner. Where's the man that makes the plan?
Why, Mr. Greigel is right here in my pocket. Funny you should ask. Come out here, Mr. Greigel.
Mr. Greigel, your report is so thorough and accurate. How long did it take you to research, investigate, interview, write, review, and edit all the work within it?
3 weeks.
How come you don't know what the vacancy rate was prior to the sale? Or how the store owners felt about the safety? or to the neighbors if they felt that the center is a detriment to their health and safety?
That would be a 4-week report.
Hi, the vacancy rate was 4% prior to the sale of the property, and that jumped 25% 2 years later. You are charged to investigate and research this as part of your redevelopment plan. You weren't curious?
Investigate? Is that with an I?
I heard the rent was raised in order to force the renters out. Untenable means possible abatements, right? And abatements mean a nice tax break for the developers. Possibly. Ha, ha, ha.
Can you cite any other properties in New Jersey with similar stores like Panera, Petco, AMC, TGI Fridays, Total Wine, ShopRite, Macy's Backstage that are part of a redevelopment plan?
Did you say Fridays? My tummy is a little rumbly.
Mr. Greigel, your report says a vacancy rate at the plaza of 33%. But you testified that the rate is 76.5% under oath in town hall. Well, which is it?
Oh, Mr. Planner Manor Greigel, may I take this one? It has been numbers, and I love numbers. If you do the math, 33% is approximately half of 76% minus, of course, the 10% truth and convenience percent. So what is the actual vacancy? We like to say close to 100%, and that's double 50%. Okay, thank you, Mr. Planner Man. Back in the old pocket. See you for the next redevelopment project. You okay in there? You got food? You okay? Don't eat my lollipop. Saving it for later.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema.
The idea of a tax abatement, or specifically a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes. I thought pilot stood for Parisi, I love our taxes. The idea of a tax abatement, or specifically a pilot, on this project was not brought up by the township at this point.
Wait, not discussed privately or not discussed publicly? Are you keeping it private from the public?
But has been made an issue by residents opposed to the concept. The township has two priorities with the idea of a redevelopment zone.
Wait, the vote was last night? How does the town have a prioritized plan already?
Oh, we work fast in the castle. You'd be surprised. We have a plan for you and your property that we decided on just this morning. The township has two priorities. First, to ensure we have a seat at the table in seeing how these properties are redeveloped.
Hello, but we're the town. We are the table. This is our dinner party. The developer is our humble guest.
These two properties are a little over 60 acres in size in the geographic center of town, and what happens there will most likely define the next generation, and it is important that the township is part of the planning of that. Over the last few years, there have been many objections about how Pal's Cabin became a CVS, or how the Presbyterian Church is becoming a Chase Bank.
Do you mean the Chase Bank plans that don't accommodate the wishes of us local residents?
They are legitimate objections and impact our community, but the only way to avoid that scenario is by having a role in the planning of the property, and the only way to ensure that is to create a redevelopment zone.
only way. Why even have a planning board and a town council and a zoning board? Let's save some money and time and simply have a redevelopment board. We can just skip all the middlemen, women, and the residents.
Minion, write that down. Redevelopment Board. Maybe we can hold a 5K to unveil it. The township can participate in the planning of properties and the creation of an overlay zone, but only with the creation of a redevelopment zone, at least according to the book of Rob, chapter 11, verse 1. Outside of a redevelopment zone, property owners have the right in the free market society to sell their properties and to develop them. In my opinion, it would be irresponsible for the township not to be involved in the planned redevelopment of over 60 acres in the town.
But is it not irresponsible to have our town attorney work with the developer too? Or to have that same town attorney's son sit on the planning board and to have that very son vote on these plans? Or to have a planning board member declare her vote before hearing all the testimony or listening to all the public comment for residents or discussing the plans with her fellow board members in a democratic, transparent process? Or how about a town planner who only worked 3 weeks on a plan for a multi-decade, multi-million-dollar project worth so much money? Who's paid with residents' tax money too, but has the developer's interests in mind? Or to find it reasonable for you to recuse yourself from this eventual town council vote, but not have other people close to this project recuse themselves as well? We love Mark and Julie's, but there's something a little stinky about this fudge topping.
Secondly, the township is looking for a public use in this zone. We need to relocate public works and the animal shelter as part of the Main Street redevelopment and are looking to locate them within this zone. Public works, animal shelter, cats and dogs, snow. Everyone knows cats and dogs can't drive snow plows. How are their little paws gonna reach the pedals?
Hey man, you should lay off. This is King Mayor. Show some respect. This project will be huge.
Meow. Mewch.
Besides limited other options for land in our community, having public works located in the center of town provides some advantages, specifically in snow removal.
How many months of snow do we get that we need to move the entire operation? Trucks, equipment, salt, garages, and everything to a more residential and economically vibrant area. New town homeowners aren't gonna love the smell of diesel in the morning. If this plan gets approved, we'll need even more plows to help residents after getting snowed over.
There have been comments made about having public works located in and up the hill neighborhood, but besides the offensive nature of that for those who have had them in their down the hill neighborhood for 40 years, there are advantages, and any plan would naturally include adequate screening.
The same adequate screening this project was given?
Additionally, we are exploring the options of additional public use within the zone to take advantage of the possibility of a new comprehensive development, as well as the prospect of land that is otherwise unattainable due to availability or cost. But don't ask me what it is. It's a surprise. Though, until the planning board approved the creation of a redevelopment zone last night, any ideas have been conversational, but the administration believes this may be an opportunity to explore much-needed senior housing and senior center within this zone.
My grandpa would love to drive a snowplow.
Snowplow seniors, snowplow seniors.
And cats.
How about a pauper cemetery?
My taxes will be so high I won't even be able to afford a service for my britches.
In addition to helping to satisfy an affordable housing requirement, there is a real need for senior housing, and this may provide an opportunity we may not have otherwise.
Me and my britches would be very happy.
Don't bury residents, bury bad development plans.
Don't bury residents, bury bad development plans.
Don't bury residents, bury bad development plans. There are several other possibilities that will be explored during the planning process. We'll let you know what they are at 7 p.m. on a winter's night when you have to work late and feed your kids. And after we've decided already what's best for us and the developer, and you. The Main Street redevelopment project provides up to $9 million in funding for the property and relocation of our public works facility and animal shelter, paid out over several years.
Wait a minute. Wait. A couple is 2, several is 3, a bunch is like 4, a whole bunch is more than 4. $9 million over 3 years. Developer is still getting 30% of our taxes due to tax breaks for 30 years. Maybe the developer can get the $9 million over 3 years, and residents can get the 30% discount over 30 years.
That funding, combined with potential land that is not available elsewhere in town, provide a unique possibility for the community and one that needs to be explored thoroughly. That is our responsibility, and it is the administration's position that the creation of a redevelopment zone is the first approach to that. That is our responsibility, and it is the administration's position that the creation of a redevelopment zone is the first approach to that. The use of a pilot, unfortunately, is rather common in redeveloping New Jersey.
If it's unfortunate, why do it? Is that why the planning board voted yes?
They knew it all along. Why even have a planning board and town council?
Is the town council ready to vote yes, too? Aren't they beholden to you and serve you on the council? Why would they vote no?
Mommy, that's not nice to tell people you won't be their friend unless they do what you tell them to do. Yes, dear, but that is child development involving emotions. This is land development, which involves money, politics, land, and spin.
And many projects many residents look to in other towns are all funded with pilots. As an example,
Bloomfield, 4 redevelopment projects, 4 separate pilots. Orange, 2 redevelopment projects, 2 separate pilots. South Orange, 5 redevelopment projects, 5 separate pilots. Verona, 2 redevelopment projects, 2 separate pilots. Montclair, 3 redevelopment projects, 3 separate pilots.
Do you use Google or Yahoo for those numbers?
very few of these projects have any public use outside of the investment in the community and overall improvement benefiting local property values, but are funded with approved pilots.
It's coming. It's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it.
However, as I mentioned, the idea of a pilot is very premature at this time, as we are focused on the zone and the plan primarily. No pilot has been promised or discussed, and to be clear, without an eventual public use, the administration will not support or propose a pilot.
He said it! He said it!
Let me reiterate what I just iterated. No pilot has been promised or discussed, and without eventual public use, this administration will not support or propose a pilot.
So, Mr. Rob Parisi, Mayor King, the word eventual. Can you provide parameters on how that eventual is? How long is it? Like tomorrow or 30 years? When the tax rate goes up and the owner wants to sell?
Maybe in 15 years the developer can put a public pension described with the mayor's name. Let's not get hung up on semantic time. How about we just leave it as eventual to make the developers happy? I always respect the public's opinion, as that it is an important role in my job.
Except at public comment or when our public advocate speaks for us.
I don't think that a case has been made out for this area to be an area in need of redevelopment. Application is without merit and should be denied.
But it is also important that decisions be made based on facts, not flyers or posts that are filled with inaccurate information.
Do you mean like Psychic Maria flyers? I have a flyer that reads, "Come to the planning board meeting December 6th. And crowds of residents did and spoke out against this plan. But your planning board didn't respond or respect our opinions." Now that's a fact. Maybe you need to show us some respect.
Oh, fiefters and fiefettes of this fiefdom, let me paint you a rosy picture. Maestro! The Main Street redevelopment project has not cost West Orange taxpayers money. The property generates higher taxes than it did, and the eventual pilot payments will produce more revenue than the property ever could have before that. From a strictly economic position, the township makes out better in pilot funding, as the county only gets a small percentage based on statute, and the township keeps the rest, enabling us to provide necessary funding to the Board of Education, netting a greater amount of money under a traditional property tax structure where the township only keeps roughly 25% of the tax dollar.
You sound just like my gambling addicted papa. No cost, more revenue, and the house keeps some, but we get the rest, and that the schools get funded. Is that a fact? If so, let's bring in those unfortunate pilots and land those babies. Come to papa.
Additionally, as an aside, all planning, legal fees, engineering, and financial analysis pertaining to the Main Street redevelopment has been funded by the redeveloper, nearly $2 million, and has not cost the township $1 since the concept was first discussed in 1999.
Oh, sure, because gambling really is free until you're over your head in debt and need help. And doesn't the house always win? If they didn't, why be in it? I think that's what helped the developer make billions off of towns like West Orange.
As always, I am happy to speak with residents individually or in groups and welcome any opportunity to answer questions or address concerns. I will make myself available or welcome residents to attend office hours next Thursday.
Can we do Wednesday instead? I have a Gamblers Anonymous meeting down near that new local place on Main Street. You know, the West Orange Money Pit, near where Edison did his experiments.
Good public policy always involves public input, but it is also important to be objective. Any redevelopment project on this property will require a significant amount of planning, and public discussion.
Can you present an open forum for residents to attend and ask questions? I'm not comfortable meeting privately with elected officials in their offices.
Why, yes, of course, I'm sure we can find a vacant space somewhere locally. But at its core, $115 million has spent on these two properties, and they are looking to invest more. That is always a good thing for our community.
Did he just say they're looking to invest more? I don't have any more money to give developers. Does that mean we have to listen to him speak again? I don't know. You want to go sign a petition or something?